All right, everyone. I'm doing a video on this because there's been a few people asking about this particular issue with the Ace Pro. The minimum focal length of the lens. Now, there's been some issues with people who looks a little bit blurry because they're closer to the camera. Ace Pro does have a longer minimum focal range, meaning that you have to be further away from the lens for it to focus properly. Some people have said that it's 6 foot, but I don't think it's that far because I'm about 2 foot away and it's pretty focused. It's when I move a little closer, then it becomes a little bit blurry, a little bit out of focus. It's not bad. It's not like it's unusable. Yeah, it's not as good as DJI and GoPro in terms of a vlogging perspective of the camera. I think there's a reason for this, and I'll clarify that with you in a second. I could be wrong, but this is what I think Insta360 is doing. So the lens is a Leica lens, and we all know that. And if you don't, Leica's been around for, oh gosh, 50 years, something like that. It's been around since I was a kid, and I grew up with it. I do photography, and the big companies are Leica, Fujinon, Nikkor lenses. Those are the big players back in the days. Okay, they're great for their optics, so they've teamed up with Ace Pro to do the lens. A lot of people complain, oh my God, it's a Leica lens, it's not focused properly up close. I'm going to use this as an example. Now I'm shooting at about 2 feet to the lens, and it's pretty clear. It's not super duper clear, but I don't know. You guys tell me, does it look okay? And normally when you shoot a vlog, this is the average range of a vlogging recording. Sometimes further because some people have a longer selfie stick. So the further I go, the more focused I am. Here's the trick with Ace Pro. Okay, and you'll see this in other footages. There's a guy, a gentleman who just recently did a review side by side with this camera and the DJI Action 4. And watch closely to that video. I've gone over that video, probably watched it 4 or 5 times. And consistently, yes, the Ace Pro does not focus as well up close, but he's sticking his face up like this onto this thing. Who records video this way? Unless you're weird, unless you have some weird issue. I don't even vlog that much. I don't tend to with this camera, even though it has a flip-up screen for vlogging. My use, and this is purely my own use, it gets strapped onto a helmet, a vest, my kayak, my canoe, front of my car, as you've seen already, my chest, and I'm always in first-person view 95% of the time. And when I do a vlog, I'm not this close to the camera. Okay, that's kind of weird. Really? Is this what we do? Is this what we're picking on? Like this range? At the same time, the person who did this, all he did was knock this camera down because of this. Now, let me ask you guys one thing. Do you think that everybody uses the camera the same way? I don't. I'm sure there's a mass of people out there that don't either. Okay. I won't go further into this review because I think it's a little biased. In so many areas of this review, if you watch the videos very carefully, the camera that he's all for doesn't perform that well, but he keeps focusing on this close focus thing. Look at the video, and I'm going to prove that to you right here. And this is an untouched video. I haven't sharpened anything. Nothing is being done. So I'm at 2 feet here. Okay. So I think it's relatively, I already checked. I did a video before this and I adjusted the distance. I think it's actually pretty clear at this distance. This is your average vlogging distance. not this. I'm sorry. It doesn't do that. I don't vlog that way. Who vlogs this way? And who films on an action cam like this? Honestly, just give me a second. I'm just gonna print something out. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to use the pause feature. I just wanted to print something out. Anyways, back to this. So he was picking on this Ace Pro because of this this focusing issue up close. Now, my theory is this. Being that it's a Leica lens, I think Insta360 did this for a reason. I don't think it was by accident. Leica is excellent for their optics in terms of long-range focal points. Okay, so where this shines, and you can go look at that review or any other review when they're putting a GoPro or DJI Action 4 against this camera. The front looks focused. Exposure is about, this one actually exposure is a little bit better. It doesn't have as good a color sometimes, but sometimes I find GoPros oversaturated, and I find DJI undersaturated. And then of course you can go to 10-bit and play with those colors as well. That's another story we'll get into, this 10-bit thing. But I'm working on this focusing, no pun intended, on this particular issue. The Ace Pro comes in the middle. Sometimes it's overfocused, or sometimes it's undersaturated, oversaturated, but generally it's actually pretty dead on with the color saturation. Now, you've been watching me do this, and am I going in and out of focus that badly that you're going to throw up or you're going to have vertigo? Like, I'm probably about 1 foot now, about that. So about 2 foot now, okay? I'm going to go a little bit further. How's the focus look? So I'm got to be about, what, 3 foot? Somebody said that, a couple people said that the minimum focal length of this is 6 feet. I don't think it's 6 feet because I'm focused at 3 feet. Okay. I was focused at 2 feet. I've watched this. I've filmed myself and I've watched me going back and forth and measuring the distance. At 2 feet, I'm actually pretty focused. It's when I start moving closer is when I start to lose a little bit of focus around my face. But here's a key. Keep an eye on the background. Okay. It's brutally clear. It's very detailed. It's very clear. This is the problem with the other cameras. If you watch the cameras when they're doing this kind of comparison, look at the background. The GoPro, the DJI, it's blurry in the back. It's not focused. Okay. So their focus point is, yeah, it's shorter, but they've lost in a longer range in focus points. Okay. Whereas the Ace Pro loses a little bit of close focusing, but the back is gorgeous. It's perfect, almost, right? And you can tell, look at the chart in the back. You can almost read that eye examination chart I just put up there. Look at the antlers, okay? Look at the detail over here. Look at the table. Look at my keyboard. Okay, all this is all in detail. It's all very detailed, very sharp. Look at the DJI, the guy who did this video, and look at the two. Yes, the Ace Pro, the face, because he's got it so close that it's off focus a little bit. I wonder if he did that on purpose to make sure that we see that it's off focus and DJI is focused more. But then look at DJI's background. It's blurry. Now, everybody uses their camera differently, okay? For me, having a close focus like this, it's irrelevant. I don't use my camera this way. But some people do, and some people might find that important. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But to say that this camera is not good because of this, or to simply just write it off or brush it off, that's not fair. That's what we call a bias opinion, right? Okay. He's not picking out the bad points. Not once did he pick out a negative point of the back blurring, but he picked out the foreground blurring of this camera and said it was a bad camera. Okay. Now that upsets me a little bit because there is a fix for this. Some guys already figured this out and have found out that there is a longer range and minimum focus with the Ace Pro. But it's fixable, right? And it's a very simple fix, right? If I'm going to use my camera this close, all I have to do is have one of these. The guy who found out about this actually designed this little, it's like a adapter. okay, to fit over the like an ND filter fits over the screen, and it works gorgeous. It just fits right over it. And he had a 72 millimeter diopter lens or filter handy. Actually, I do too, because my Sony mirrorless 6300 shoots, and the lens on it's a 72 millimeter. So I had these. They're cheap. You can get a 4-pack. I think it's a +1, +2, +4, +10 diopter, or what they call is a close-up lens. And it was like 20 bucks Canadian. Like, I use it for my camera, so this one, I actually don't use the +4 in the other camera. I use the actual +10, +2 more. So this will stay in this little, and it pops out really easy. Just pops right out, pops right in. It's snug enough that it's not gonna fall out of your camera. This fits in my Gadget bag. I'll carry it with me. I'll probably won't ever use it because I don't film that close to really matter. You'll see in my other video, I did a vlog during the day for a day shot, and I had the camera probably, I would say, 3 feet around there, because I think that's as long as my selfie stick goes, and it was crystal clear. I don't know what the problem is. Anyways, there is a fix. Now, here's my question for you. How do you use your camera? Do you use it like this more? Because if you do, this is not the camera for you. Go buy a GoPro, go buy a DJI, okay? If you can lose the background detail. I can't lose that background detail, okay? For my usage, I do a lot of low light shooting, why I bought this camera, why I want this camera, and it's shine through for low light. Absolutely perfect. It's gorgeous at low light. I won't get you can see some of the videos I've done with low light, and it's untouched video, sorry. The zoom was a big thing for me. How many times do you have to use a zoom while using your action cam? Many times, and all the action cams that have zoom are not usable, okay? So there's that. Now, this focusing thing, okay? My camera sits on my diving vest, body, chest mount, hat mount, helmet mount, front of my handlebars of my mountain bike, front of my kayak, on front of my crossbow. It doesn't point to me. I don't film myself. I don't like the way I look, to be honest with you. I rather not use... Really? Do you really want to see this? It always shoots the front, and it always shoots a long distance. Now, this is where this Leica lens comes in handy with this camera. It may not do a very good job in a close proximity sharpness, but it literally hands down beats the GoPro and the DJI in a long distance sharpness. Take a look. Look at all. I've been watching reviews for 2 weeks straight, and I've been watching specific areas of this camera compared to others, and it's always consistently clearer and the long range. Like if you look at the mountains or the skies far away, or the lake or the river far away, Ace Pro always beats those two, hands down, right? So you have to tell yourself, which is more important to you, this or a nice shot of the water when you're diving, or underwater when you're diving, or mountain biking, you get to see the nice view and so on and so forth. For me, that's important, but that's my use. You may not do it that way. You buy a camera to vlog, that's great. You know, you can fix this zoom, this blur problem, and I'm going to tell you how to do right now. This thing, that's all you need. Okay, I 3D printed this. I have a 3D printer. Took literally 10 minutes to print this, and I had the lens, a 72 lens. All you do is you just put the lens right in this thing. It fits in snug. It doesn't fall out, right? And this just goes right over and clips onto the front of the lens for the Ace Pro. So here we go. Here's my fix. Problem: blurry, not blurry, blurry, not blurry. Now, here's the drawback of this, okay? So, I'm gonna take it off. Look at the back. Look how clear it is on the back, okay? I'm off focus just a tad. This is not really that unusable. Let's be honest, right? Some people rather have a nice smoother face, blurry face. You know, I'm just joking. But watch when I put this filter on. So what this filter initially does is it basically mimics what the focal point of the DJI and the GoPro is. So it focuses at a shorter base distance, better, but then it loses focus in the back. So when I put this on, look at my background. Okay, going on now. Do you see a problem with this? My face is nice and clear. Look at the back. It's like almost like a bokeh effect, right? I'm gonna remove it. That's a huge difference. And if you look at the gentleman who did this review with the DJI 4, it's not as bad as a blur, but it's blurry. Worse than this, in my opinion. The back, you can't see the details. The lines are blurry, whereas the Ace Pro is crystal clear. And this happens also with the night shot. If you look at DJI has the same sensor as the Ace Pro. It's a 1" over 1/3 sensor. And both has good low light shooting. The Ace Pro shines because of the 5nm processor inside. It actually can interpolate the pixels and clear it in real time, whereas the DJI cannot do that. Okay, and what the DJI fails is, as it's getting darker, the light is still good on the near focus. You'll notice that with the DJI, the near focus is still decent. You know, it's not as good as the Ace Pro, in my opinion. But look at the background. Don't look at only the details. Look at the motion. The DJI fails when it gets darker because the engine, the CPU, cannot keep up with the stabilization, whereas the 5nm chip on the Ace Pro can. Okay, that's a big thing for me. If this was flip side and Ace Pro did that thing and DJI was the one that had better motion in the back, you bet your dollars that the guy who's interviewing it, who's a big DJI fan, is going to push that. But in this case, it doesn't matter. It's redundant. What do you mean it's redundant? It's usable footage. The background actually looks normal. On the Ace Pro, on the night shooting, the background is smooth. The motion is smooth. It's clear. The colors are good. DJI failed. GoPro, don't even ask. GoPro is not even close to either one of these two, right? And this is a 12th gen camera. Okay? So, anyways. So look at it again. I'm going to do it again. And then it's 17 minutes of me talking. And I'm getting bored of me talking. So look at my face. Yeah, it's off focus. I think it is. I can't really see it on the screen here. But as I put this thing, look, I'm going to go close. I'm going to do what this guy does. Okay, so I'm blurry. But look at what this diopter does. Look how clear my face is. But look at the back. It's blurred out. So initially, that's what the other cameras are doing. Are you okay with this? Really? I'm not. I'm sorry. Look at the clarity. Look at the difference. Are you okay with this? I have a clear face, but nothing else is good. I don't film this way. He does, apparently. And great for him. But I don't. This is gross, man. I don't want to look at my face that close. Let's go back to blurry. I look better in the blur. So, hey. Are we going to pick on these things now? Is that what we've come to? We can't. There's so many good things about this camera. And the funny thing is, these people who knocked this camera down because of the lens guard, because of the flip screen, because of the focusing issue, the 10-bit issue, they're not focusing on the important thing that this camera markets is. It's the low light shooting, and that's not hype. I know because I've been shooting low light on this thing. Look at my last video, the low light. It's incredible. GoPro can't even touch it. Right? DJI, yeah, close, but no. If you really look at it, DJI fails, right? But we don't. Is that not important? Like, it's one of the features that people have been asking for years and years and years from GoPro and DJI. I know I used to sell cameras, and that was the #1 request: better low light shooting, better zoom. And here we are. We have a camera that can do both. And yet we pick on this focus. Peace out. Respect.